Eva and the Mirror of Code. Eva had always been fascinated by the old, ornate mirror that hung in her grandmother's attic. It was no ordinary mirror. Its surface shimmered like liquid silver, and when the light hit it just right, she could swear she saw symbols flickering across its surface, like lines of code in a language she couldn't quite decipher. One rainy afternoon, while her grandmother napped downstairs, Eva climbed up to the attic to examine the mirror again. She traced her fingers along its gilded frame, feeling the intricate carvings of gears and circuits. As she leaned closer, her reflection seemed to blur, and the symbols in the glass grew brighter, pulsing with an otherworldly rhythm. Curiouser and curiouser, Eva muttered, echoing a phrase she'd once read in a book. Before she could step back, the mirror's surface rippled, and a voice, smooth and mechanical, spoke. Access granted. Welcome, user Eva. With a gasp, Eva felt herself pulled forward, as if the mirror had reached out and grabbed her. She tumbled through the glass, her surroundings dissolving into a stream of glowing green symbols. When she landed, she found herself standing in a vast, grid-like landscape. The ground was a mosaic of glowing tiles, and the sky above was a swirling matrix of numbers and equations. "Where am I?" Eva whispered. "You are in the system," the mechanical voice replied. It seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. A construct of infinite complexity, where reality is defined by code. Eva looked around and noticed that the landscape shifted as she moved. Trees made of binary branches sprouted from the ground, their leaves cascading with cascading lines of data. Rivers of light flowed in perfect geometric patterns, and in the distance, she saw towering structures that looked like servers, their surfaces alive with flickering lights. As she explored, Eva encountered strange beings, avatars of people who had entered the system long ago and never left. There was the White Coder, a figure dressed in a robe of pure data, who spoke in riddles about loops and algorithms. To escape, you must debug the system, he told her, before vanishing into a cloud of pixels. Next, she met the Red Glitch, a mischievous entity that flickered in and out of existence, leaving trails of corrupted code in its wake. "The system is breaking," it hissed, "and only you can fix it." Eva soon learned that the system was a self-sustaining simulation, a digital world created by an ancient civilization to preserve their knowledge. But over time, errors had crept in, causing the system to destabilize. If it collapsed, everything and everyone inside would be lost. Determined to find a way out, Eva followed the Red Glitch's trail, solving puzzles and repairing corrupted code as she went. She encountered logic gates that required her to think in new ways, and she battled viruses that took the form of shadowy creatures, their claws made of malicious scripts. At last, she reached the heart of the system, a massive, glowing core surrounded by a labyrinth of firewalls. The core pulsed with a sickly light, its surface cracked and leaking streams of corrupted data. Eva knew she had to act quickly. Using the knowledge she'd gained from the White Coder and the Red Glitch, Eva began to rewrite the core's code. It was a race against time. The system was collapsing around her, the grid-like landscape fracturing into chaos. But Eva worked with a clarity she'd never known before, her fingers flying over the holographic keyboard that appeared before her. As the final line of code was entered, the core flared with a brilliant light. The system stabilized, the cracks sealing themselves, and the landscape around her shifted back into its original, pristine state. "System restored," the mechanical voice announced. "Thank you, user Eva." Before she could respond, Eva felt herself being pulled back through the mirror. She landed in the attic, her heart pounding, the mirror's surface once again still and silent. From that day on, Eva saw the world differently. She noticed patterns in everything, the way leaves fell from trees, the rhythm of traffic lights, the flow of water in a stream. It was as if she could see the code beneath reality, the hidden framework that held everything together. And though she never spoke of her adventure, Eva often returned to the attic, gazing into the mirror and wondering if the system was still out there, waiting for her to return. Perhaps one day she would.